Hello, my name is Joan Úbeda-Colomer from the University of British Columbia, and thank you very much for virtually attending my presentation titled The Physical Activity Intention Behavior Gap. Do perceived behavioral control and social ecological barriers play a moderating effect? Intention is a key construct in physical activity behavior change theories, especially in those theories based on the social cognitive framework, and it has been widely demonstrated to predict physical activity behavior. However, the association between intention and physical activity is generally weak. This lack of correspondence has been called the intention-behavior gap, and it suggests that other external factors influence physical activity participation. Such external influences could be especially relevant for people with disabilities, thus making the intention-behavior gap even bigger. Research has shown that people with disabilities usually present low levels of perceived behavioral control towards physical activity. In addition, this population experiences a wide range of social and environmental barriers to physical activity, such as lack of accessibility in the fitness facilities, lack of adapted physical activity programs, or reduced social participation. Against this backdrop, the present study aimed to explore whether perceived behavioral control and social ecological barriers moderate the association between intention and moderate to vigorous physical activity in a sample of 662 university students with physical disabilities. The sample was accessed through the disability care services of 52 Spanish universities, and the participants completed self-administered measures of intention, perceived behavioral control, and social ecological barriers. A multiple regression model was tested in 2 steps to predict moderate to vigorous physical activity. Intention, perceived behavioral control, and social ecological barriers were introduced in step 1 as independent variables, while the interactions between perceived behavioral control and intentions and between social ecological barriers and intentions were introduced in step 2. In general, students reported a high intention to exercise. However, 62% of them were not meeting the minimum recommendation of 600 met minutes a week of moderate to vigorous physical activity. In step 1 of the regression, lower intention to exercise, lower perceived behavioral control, and greater social ecological barriers were significantly associated with lower moderate to vigorous physical activity. In step 2, perceived behavioral control and social ecological barriers significantly moderated the association between intention and moderate to vigorous physical activity, while main effects were not significant. The intention-behavior relationship was strongest for students reporting high perceived behavioral control and low social ecological barriers, and weakest for those with low perceived behavioral control and high social ecological barriers. So, what do these results mean? That intention is necessary but not sufficient for university students with physical disabilities to engage in moderate to vigorous physical activity, given that perceived behavioral control and social ecological barriers play a significant moderating role. In other words, the willingness to engage in physical activity could be useless when low control and a wide range of barriers limit the participation options. Therefore, interventions aiming to encourage physical activity participation among this population would benefit from bridging the intention-behavior gap by increasing perceived behavioral control and minimizing social ecological barriers. Thank you very much for your attention, and feel free to reach over the email, ResearchGate, or Twitter for further discussion or any questions you may have.